When you go into Planning Center, you might be in the schedule for Sunday or wherever. You have 4 tabs at the top. I think you should have 4 tabs. But you should have plans and then songs. And if you click on songs, that takes you into where all of our songs are. So in here, there's 3 pages of songs. So there's a lot of songs in here. Or you can say view all. You can see all 214 songs. But a couple of things you can do in here to help you narrow things down. This is how I plan. So depending on what kind of song, like I might be looking for a certain theme or a certain word. So I can type the theme peace, or I can type the word praise or whatever, those kinds of things. Or I can just type in a song title and go right to that song. But song tags are also something that I've used a lot. Now there's a lot of dates here. These are for hymns, and I wanted to know what years they were written. That's why these are here. But there's basically, we're using 5 different categories: 3 hymns and classics. Those are the 5 basic categories we're using. And so we try to pull from each of those categories just to have a good blend. Tier 1 are songs that we're teaching right now. So if I click on that, it'll take me and say, okay, it'll show me just these. These are the Tier 1 songs that are new, that we've taught recently, or that we'd like to teach. Some of these we've never done before. So the way I plan is all like, let's say I want to say, okay, what Tier 1 song do I want to do? And if there's a song that we've done recently, I want to do it again because it's a new song. So this is a little bit different. But so what I'll do here is go to last scheduled, and I'll click on that so that it sorts these songs by last scheduled. And you can see down here, these 3 songs have never been done, right? And this is the song that's been done the longest time ago, and the next longest ago, and the next longest ago. So normally I would start looking at these songs first to say, okay, what hasn't been done for the longest? Does this one strike me? Nah. This one? Nah. Ooh, this one looks good. Let's do that one, and I'll write that down, and I'll plan to schedule that. When I'm going to the next one, I'll click clear here. I click on there to clear that filter, and I'll scroll back down, and I'll go to the next. We'll go to the next section here, which is Tier 2 songs, and I see what's there. I click it by order by last scheduled, and so I can say, okay, so this hasn't been done since October. Oh, it's time to do this one again. Does this one feel at all like? And I might take this song, I might play through it, or I might listen to the recording of it. Like, let's say I'm like, When You Move. Do I know that song? I can go into it by clicking on it, and it's like, well, there's nothing here. Well, there's 2 sections of each song file or whatever. There's the all arrangements, and there's really nothing in here other than the tag. But I can go to the default arrangement is where most everything is. So in the default arrangement, I can have the tempo of the song and the meter of the song, but then I have all the files that I put in here. So here's a Vimeo of it. Here is an audio recording of it in the key of A, an audio recording in the key of G, plus the chord charts for both of those songs. And down here I have the keys that we normally do it in. So if I want to watch something, I just click on it, and it brings up that song. And I can watch it, listen to it, see if I remember it, get some ideas for how to do it. Okay. Or let's say then I want to practice the song, but it's like, well, that sounds a little high. Let's do it down in G. So I click on that again. There's a player that comes up at the bottom here, and it might sound a little bit. The vocal sounds a little weird, but you can sing along to it in this key and say, okay, this sounds good for my voice. So that's how I go into my songs, and then go back into the songs tab again, and that's how I look at songs. And if I want to just clear that filter and go in and say, okay, what's the last thing that's been scheduled? Period. Um, this will be the latest scheduled. So if I want to get to the oldest stuff, I click on the last scheduled again, and it flips the sorting. So the last thing that was done was, wow. I mean, there's some songs in here. Some of these are special songs. So like We Three Kings hasn't been done since December of 2014. What? That song should be out of here. It's like 2.5 years old. But well, it's a Christmas song, so that's why we don't do it so often. Which some of these are. But then you can at least get a feel for what hasn't been done for a while, what needs to be coming up in the rotation. But for I think as we're starting having more worship leaders in, I feel like I want to be more flexible with our repetition, and so I don't really care how often it's been done or when it's been done last. I just, as long as it's on our list and it's in one of our 5 categories, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, hymns or classics. I think do it, go for it, because it's a song that probably speaks to you, and those are going to be the songs that you're going to lead with the most energy, with the most passion, with the most comfort. Are the songs that you know. So that's the little spiel on songs and how I pick them and how you find them. I hope that is helpful. Oh wait, I almost forgot. So there's this thing that I'm learning as a worship leader, and that is that when I want to be choosing songs from a place of worship, not just from my head or from my heart, but also from a place of being with God. So I might just have a few moments of stillness, of silence, of prayer. I might read a scripture, read a psalm, or I might take out an instrument and begin to worship for a while before I start the act of choosing, because I really want to be sensitive to what God is saying. There's a balance between I want to choose songs that both like strike me somehow, that resonate with my soul, that I like, and that's important. But I also want to be sensitive, because God knows what we need to be singing, and so I want to be listening to what He's saying. And then I also want to use my head, which is why we've done the tiers and all the different categories, so we can be intentional about making sure that we're rotating our songs well, and we're doing a mix of songs that is good. And I don't have any rule for us as far as like, well, you have to do X number of hymns or X number of classics or X number of whatever. Like, it makes sense for us to have a mix of those things. But some Sundays we're going to have a lot of hymns. Some Sundays we'll have one hymn, and that's totally fine. Like, that's not what it's about. So there's the mind thing. There's our soul thing. This is what we like, what we're drawn to, and there's listening to God. And so coming to the time of listening and the time of selecting songs, doing that from a place of centeredness and of rest and of worship is really helpful. So there you go.